It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.
And welcome, everybody, to our Wednesday edition of the show. We had a late start for the live show today. Once again, thanks to our co-host, the little puppy, who does everything slowly, and he sleeps a lot. So we're going to take a look at the Instagram today. That's what we traditionally do on a Wednesday morning. The goal here is to focus on some of the accounts and people over on the Instagram that are focused on what our Second Amendment protects, and to help give them some reach over here on the YouTube, let people know on YouTube what's happening over on the Instagram. They're a little bit different platforms, kind of across the stream, so to speak. And we always have a couple of ulterior motives, and one would be to let people know about the Cape Gun Works Rapid Fire Radio Show. So I'm looking over at the YouTube right now to see if they've got that posted yet. And if they do, we will send people over to that show. Looks like it is scheduled for 12:15. So we have a couple of things. They're going to do the Grace Curley show and then Rapid Fire Radio in succession. So it looks like we've only got about 45 minutes before the Grace Curley show starts. So let's take a quick second to link to that and give people who are joining in an opportunity to say hey. Letting the puppy get comfortable. He's going to fall asleep because he's very tired from sleeping all night. For people that listen on the podcast, we have a puppy co-host. Right now he's ignoring the show completely, wiggling him, trying to get him to come back to the show, but he doesn't care about the show. He cares a little bit about the show. He's curious about the show. But I am also clicking a bunch of things. I guess I could bring them up on the screen here so everybody doesn't have to look at the back of a puppy butt. Nobody wants to look at a puppy. So let's bring this over here. There's the Grace Curley show, or the Tuesday segment of the Grace Curley show coming up. Then this is what I've been trying to do. We'll open up this show that we're in right now. And the way YouTube works, whenever it shows up here, the way YouTube works is when you edit your video, you can go over on the left here in the control panel, toolbar, whatever you want to call this. You can click on the customization tab or option, go down to the bottom, and one of the options is redirect, and that's where we will paste the URL of the show that we're going to recommend people go check out after this show. And there, now we have that show recommended. We can jump back to this show by clicking back on details and jumping out to the show itself. And why don't we do a poll? Let's do a poll. So as soon as the stuff starts loading here on the screen, we'll pause it. Let's make sure it's working. And sounds like it. So welcome to the people that are joining us. Good afternoon. Look how long my internet takes to happen. So eventually I'm going to see the option show up down here for me to open a poll. I thought it would be a little quicker than this. And we'll start a poll. And should we keep the puppy co-host? Look, he's over there being gross. A lot of people hate the puppy co-host, think we shouldn't even have him around. Think he's a deterrent to the show. There we go. Yes or no? Boom. Now give an option. It's either yes or no. Nope, no, I guess there's going to try to be another option. How do I get rid of that option? Okay, start. All right, now we can get into it. So what we do on Wednesdays, keep thinking it's Tuesday for some reason. What we do on Wednesdays is take a look at our Instagram. And the Instagram has, different people than over here on YouTube. It's more of a photograph-focused platform, where YouTube, of course, is the videos. Now, there's a social component to these social media platforms, the communities that are fostered or that created or that get that accumulate around the different projects out there. So because Instagram is more of a phone app or a phone thing, and because the people who are using it are typically, it's a picture thing, so you're scrolling through it pretty fast. It's a quicker and faster platform than YouTube, even with the YouTube Shorts, which some could say are designed to compete with Instagram. You still have more people checking out Instagram for the short stuff, and I don't know if one's good or bad. They're both useful, both are interesting sometimes, both can be annoying and useless at sometimes. So because of that, we go in each week and take a look at what's been going on the other platform. Now, we don't really put stuff on YouTube onto Instagram because it's difficult. It's not really, doesn't really fit. But we can take the small pieces of Instagram, put them together, and make a long piece here for YouTube. So that's what we do. Now, I'm not sure where a week is. So, well, I don't know what that was. So we're talking December 27th, just after the Christmas. I think this air rifle one we did last week. So I think we must have ended right around Brooke and her movie night candy situation there. So again, thanks to Tristan for joining us live. Mike White out in California joining us as well. If you're out there joining us live, we don't know unless you say something. Feel free to. I do this live, one, because I don't really believe in doing pre-recorded scripted stuff for things like this. This is a more organic type of conversation anyway, and I'd rather do it live because I value the interactive nature of the internet, and this way people can take advantage of that, be part of the show, or if you're listening to this in the future as a podcast, you can essentially be a time traveler and be part of this show through time by commenting or whatever, and we can always bring those comments up in the future. Every once in a while we do that. Or reply to your comments out wherever they are. So thanks for being part of the show. Let's dig in. Let's see. So this one is from Women for Gun Rights 7 days ago. Just about right. What argument for the Second Amendment have you found to be most effective? Share so others can learn and strengthen their arsenal. How awesome is this post? What I mentioned about the interactive nature of the internet. When we're doing these live streams, there's definitely the factor where people can comment immediately, and that's interactive. But this, where you create a post that encourages collaboration and like redistribution, that's awesome. That's like that's really utilizing the power that we have on the internet. So let's take a look at some of these. I have about 45 minutes, so, I'll take the time on these that are more important, I think, than some of the others, which are just to kind of shine light on some topics. So Women for Gun Rights, of course, used to be called the DC Project. These are a group of ladies. Essentially, a lady from each state goes to the national representatives, and in October, they meet with each representative and offer some insight as to the modern gun owner, but also let themselves be resources for those representatives and their infrastructure or their people, so that when there's a bill that comes up or some kind of legislation that they're working on, they have these ladies as reference and resource. So they do great work, and in addition to that, working at the state and national level, they do a pretty decent job of posting things that are useful, encouraging, or effective. So this one is I think one of those. So anyway, we've got a bunch of different comments here over after a week. Derek from KidSafe says, as society further dissolves into chaos, our ability to exercise our God-given right to self-defense becomes that much more important. This isn't a left versus right issue at this point. It's a basic human right, civil rights issue. The police cannot protect you. It's your responsibility. Okay, I'm going to click because that's pretty much sky is falling one. Then there's 3 replies to that one. Somebody says, I think this may be one of the harder concepts to cross party lines. Another one says, talking about masks and shit. And then, if they acknowledge that it's hard for some people to grasp, then maybe let go of that argument. You can have a million correct arguments, but let's use the ones that are effective, right? Like, who cares if anybody agrees with this argument or not? If it's not being grasped by the other side, then deviate from it. Like, what's the point of trying to beat something into the other side? Let's work with what's effective. But I'll keep going. Susan is saying, I'm apologetically armed, who may or may not be joining us today. Because of having a firearm on me gives me one more option to turn to if I'm ever faced with having to defend myself or others. So long as the criminal element has theirs, I'll be hanging on to mine. So what argument have you found to be most effective? Then we've got Jason saying the safety of you and your family is your own responsibility. Candy, I don't know where she's from, but it looks like she's DC Project. We are here to help. Our nation is torn apart on this issue. Let us help you get the facts to make fair, balanced decisions that are fair to both sides. That's interesting. This Kristen, I guess. I'm a woman. Bad guys are usually bigger than me and may have a gun. I have the right to protect my own life and my family. Nobody replied to that one. Teal says, I don't need to justify anything. It's a right and I will carry, period. My right's my property. Sharing videos of violence. This is from some, I'm going to quit saying the names. These are from different people. Sharing videos of violence happening in regular places, regular homes to regular people. People are usually stunned at how often and fast it happens. Oh man, so scared, get scared. Average U.S. 911 police response time is over 10 minutes. It's your job to prevent you and your children from being, oh my goodness. Typical LE response is minutes away when mere seconds count to defend yourself and your loved ones. Also, isn't it strange that all the people trying to make laws have private security? So, shall not be infringed, literally. My rights, my property. Police have zero obligation to protect you and save you. You're on your own. Wow, there's a very, very, very single-minded here, single-focused. So, we're not done. We still have a lot of my rights, my property, and you should be scared of other people. So we'll keep moving. The potential there was great, though. But, time will let practice. If no one started a thing like this, then we would never see it evolve. So thank you for starting this thing. It's kind of frustrating to see some of those comments, but I'm sure they're shared by a lot of people. So here we got NRA posting a thing about Glock. It says, rest in peace, Gadsden Glock, and then dates 1929 to 2023. This one is a picture of Gadsden back in the day and some writer, I guess. And they're sitting here at a table or something, and Glock looks like he's taking apart the gun and showing him maybe I'm guessing with what he's looking at there, he's putting the spring into the that little back part. But it says, rest in peace to a legend. Gadsden Glock, his visionary design of the Glock pistol in the 1980s established a legacy of reliability, now equipping over 65% of U.S. federal, state, and local agencies. Here's a picture of Mr. Glock, circa 1988, demonstrating the operation of a Model 17, to the NRA's American Rifleman magazine. So that's pretty interesting. It was just a couple of years early. Wait, it was definitely earlier than this, though. They're saying this is 1988, huh? So let's see. We just quickly jump over to Minuteman. Do I have it on Minuteman? If we type in Glock.
Hmm. So if Glock had already opened its headquarters in Georgia in '86, it must have been '84. I think it was '84 that I have a Soldier of Fortune magazine. That was the first time, somebody was paying attention to Glock here. So this is essentially them acting like, oh yeah, here's us back in the day. But it's like 4 years after the Glock was already introduced. American Rifleman was getting around to paying attention to it. I don't know if that's the first time, but that's the one they're pointing to. This is Virginia Citizens Defense League doing their what do they call it? The lobby day coming up here next week. Not very long. It's pretty soon. So let's go take a look. We got all this data now. So jumping over to gun calendars real quick. I got to update this one. I just got a new date to put in here. But if we go down here to rallies, click. The Virginia rally is on the 15th. So it is definitely coming up here right around the corner. One of the things the Virginia Citizens Defense League does, in addition to having become the big brother, big sister to all the other citizens defense leagues that exist in the country, is they do their rally, and they do their rally right, correctly. So they know that it's difficult for people to get downtown and park at the Capitol. So they have these buses that bring people in from all around, and then they paint the buses orange or wrap them in orange, and then do the hashtag rolling for the 2A, and then have the Gun Saves Lives message on them. So Virginia Citizens Defense League also sells a big round button that says Gun Saves Lives on it, and with the orange. So this is an attempt to keep hunters orange, which has been tried to be grabbed by the other side. They've attempted to use the color orange to be anti-gun, when, of course, the color orange was created in the first place to defend against the attempt to remove hunting from society. They used to say that the hunting was too dangerous, so hunters took it upon themselves to create blaze orange and wear orange. So the antis thought that would be cool and ironic to take orange away from hunting or from guns. And Virginia Citizens Defense League is one of the few organizations that's championing the orange color to resist that. It's awesome. But otherwise, it's also cool that they're facilitating a bunch of people showing up at the rally and making it possible for people to show up at a scheduled time. Since they schedule the buses, they can make sure that people are getting there just in the right sequence and whatever. So really efficient, really effective. They've had pictures in the past of all the people they're able to bring. Even when they restricted the ability for people to gather, they organized a parade, essentially, of people, a caravan of people coming by and honking and showing support for our rights. They do this in coordination with the how, what is it, some kind of event at the Capitol. So this isn't done on their own schedule. This is done to coincide with some kind of Capitol thing going on in Virginia. This year, it's pretty cool that it's happening that way, because this will happen before SHOT Show. So normally, a lot of times, I should say, this happens on the same week as SHOT Show, and the people from Virginia just don't get a chance to go to SHOT Show because they're going to their rally. This year, no excuses. People from Virginia, if they have any interest in doing so, can go to SHOT Show now. KidSafe posted their new patches that they had made. They're Ralph, I guess, saying something. I couldn't really tell. Hopefully he saves me a couple. But it looks like you got a couple hundred, maybe. It's hard to say. Maybe that's 100. Kind of depends on how fat they are. Krabby Turtle posting about Woods. What's going on? Posting about Woods winning on Chris's show. Pretty cool that he had both of their logo patches. He's got the new Chris patch. I don't even have that Chris patch. All right. So next up is from TN Outdoors 9. I don't remember how many people, or I don't know how many people have been around a while to know about TN Outdoors 9, but he's been kicking a lot more lately. So this is a magazine from the year 2000, an Auto Pistols magazine. It says, anybody have a stack of these old Glock annuals. 24 years later, the 45 ACP Glock 30 and 36 featured on this cover may have changed the industry, but wasn't in a manner that was expected. So, yeah, I don't know. Oh, is this the 40? No, these are just the regular old 45s. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know what he's talking about with this. He's from Tennessee, so different perspective on stuff, I guess. But I do happen to have a bunch of Glock annuals. I don't have them that far back. That would be pretty awesome. Got a picture from Jeff. It says to follow up on a sad post about the passing of his little kitten a couple of months ago. He says this little guy showed up sneaking food from the bowl in the garage. The two became pal, and now this guy's slowly letting us get closer. He's made himself at home, and he's named him El Gato Amarillo, Rio for short. So it's cool to see that Jeff's got a new kitten over there. Let's see, this one's from Gun Policy. Got Morgan, what's his face, and it says something Carrillo versus Bonita. Carrillo versus Bonta. California public carry bans lawsuit. It cannot be that the locations at issue suddenly become sensitive when California was required to respect the right to carry, and more people are exercising that right. Prior to Bruin, the state has had no issue with carry by permit holders in nearly all the challenged locations. So I guess, California's got something like 11 or more, 16, whatever it was, new laws that just took effect on January 1st. And they were all reactionary to the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus the loser, Bruin. And this is, I guess, FPC talking about one of the lawsuits, that they filed their lawsuit in response to one of those issues. So I guess what they're saying is that if you're saying that all of a sudden these are sensitive places, how come they weren't sensitive like yesterday or the day before? Let's see. So this one is from Pets for Vets. I guess it's a little bit late for this one, but it's an urge to donate Donate today to support our veterans and shelter animals. So, if you've got, if you were doing giving, then I think a lot of people choose to give to critters and critter, I guess, support places. I think I have about 20 minutes left. So Aegis, this is a post from, I guess, is it from Bonsai Tactics? It's a repost. Yeah, it's from Bonsai Tactics. And they're just talking about, I guess I can play it as 6 o'clock. So nice little. Oh, there is music. So essentially, though, they're giving away an Aegis gun cleaning kit. I'll hear about Aegis once in a while, so I figured to post that. This one's pretty good. So this is the new Safety Orange hoodies from Kilo Niner, the co-host over here, has a sweatshirt from them. But, that's cool. It's orange. That's cool. But then there's also this little guy doing some kind of research, some kind of studying. Pretty epic. Little pug looking at a laptop. So this one's from the National Park Service. It says, what do you call a falcon born in the 1980s or mid-1990s? What do you call a falcon born in the 1980s and mid-1990s? So they got some pictures here of a falcon hanging out on Statue of Liberty. Pretty cool. So you call that a millennial falcon, of course. So Park Service does a pretty good job of making humorous posts. But in this case, it's also pretty epic to see the hawk hanging out with the city behind it like that. But there's a lot of pigeons and rats and shit, so I'm sure they're eating pretty good. This one's pretty neat. It says, it's taken you a little longer because you aren't lying, scamming, manipulating, using people, or selling your soul. A comment, what's the word? Like that is shared by a bunch of thoughts. Those thoughts are shared by a lot of people out there. So there's tons of people that can take the shortcuts, but
you get what you get out of a shortcut. You get instant gratification, but you don't get the experience, wisdom, and time on the clock that are necessary for long-term success. So I'm not sure what they're dealing with, but obviously something that they had to post this. But I think this is neat. Company out of Ohio, if I'm right, doing a bunch of different AK parts and then fixtures, so that people who are building can either build with their parts or build kits. And a big chunk of AKs is that you're building. You're gunsmithing. You're truly building. You're not just armoring. Or at least it's a lot closer to gunsmithing than other guns that are just armoring. Anyway, this says that their next line of Recreator Kinkoff parts are up there, and they've got some coupon codes and stuff. So anyway, I thought that was pretty neat. Sentiment. This must have been right around the first of the year, or the end of the year. We've got a happy 2024 coming from Wilderness Tactical. A bunch of people up in Phoenix area that make great nylon belts, pouches. They have some shirts and other wearable gear. Definitely worth checking out. It's all Berry compliant, meaning the materials are made in the United States and everything's built in the United States, designed and created in the United States. Chieffire's joining us. Welcome. So this one's from NAGA, posting about the Illinois assault weapons ban going into effect on January 1st. So this one was interesting too. Another one that is asking for interaction. So it says Illinois assault weapons ban of semi-automatic weapons and extension magazines goes into effect January 1st. Lawmakers are hoping this will curb the numbers on mass shootings and gun violence. Your thoughts? Well, first off, I don't like any of the words you used there. You chose a bunch of weird words. I don't like saying lawmakers and whatnot. But there's a whole bunch of comments there. And the first one is Tactical 22. It's a company that makes stuff. How are the citizens allowing that? The next one is, it won't do a damn thing. Why? Glad you asked. Because the criminals don't give two Fs about the laws, rules, or anything else. All they're doing is crippling our chances to a fair stand to protect ourselves. Next one is also, our U.S. Supreme Court already has the case, and it will get struck down in the 24. The state is hoping people will sign up and register their stuff, so they'll have a list of who has got what and where and how much of it they've got, even after the ban gets revoked. That's an interesting point. So who's going to tell the bad guys? Next one is unconscionable. Where do the law-abiding citizens of Illinois? Unconscionable to the law-abiding citizens of Illinois. Wrong on so many levels. This one says it will be repealed on January 2nd. Well, that didn't happen. This one says, I don't know what that means. What kind of law agencies officers are going to die to confiscate them en masse? They ain't getting paid that well. That's an interesting point. That's like saying, let's ban wood matches, and that will cut the number of fires in a given town. It makes no sense whatsoever. That's a great analogy. Banning semi-automatics, they sell in muskets or something. That's hilarious. Won't curve anything. Will just make more, or won't cure anything. Just make more victims. Well, this will do absolutely nothing. All of the thugs and killers will still be toting Glocks with switches. And it says, so lawmakers think criminals will obey their new laws? Yeah, I got this bridge from London for sale. But that is over in Arizona here. We have that. It was for sale. Unconstitutional, period. So a lot of my rights, my property still happening over here. But look at the variety of, I guess they asked the question a little bit differently, obviously to different people, but much more diverse opinions on this one. I mean, everybody thinks it's not going to do anything, but they're all coming at it from different angles. Curb nothing. Many people will Many people will probably be hurt and killed. Just creating more victims. A violation of the Second Amendment. It will not cure anything. Just another ridiculous law to impede law-abiding citizens. Criminals don't acquire guns and magazines illegally. Thanks to my military status, I don't have to register anything. I will be heading further south to get away from this dumb law. How has gun control worked in Chicago? That's an interesting one. So great interaction. I mean, I had to scroll down and there's still more. So great interaction on that one from 4 days ago. That other one was from DC Project, and that one was further back, and it had less comments. And we got another one from KidSafe. This is a pretty cool infographic, I guess, like yearly summary. It says over on the right here, we have spent the past few days crunching all the numbers for 23. Here are our numbers for 2023. Total kids reached 4,200 something. Through outreach, approximately 3,000. Kids firearm safety number 1, 900. Firearm safety number 2. Oh, okay, I see. I guess it's total 42, and that breaks down to be 33,000 through outreach. I'm guessing that means like going to events and setting up the booth and letting kids know about firearm safety. But then 930 something through this one safety class, I'm guessing, and then 96 through another class, and then teen rifle 1, approximately 67. Thinks he fired off 18,000 BBs and 8,200 rounds of long rifle. They have 26 volunteers. Went to 4 different states. So it was definitely a challenge. Fuel costs made up a large portion of our budget. It seems that it cost us 3 times as much to reach the amount of kids that we did. We made changes. I imagine he means in 22. We made changes and improved procedures that will benefit us next year. The goal is to drive efficiencies to help increase our output, which will equal more families reached. Thank you and all the volunteers that helped us do what we do. Thank you every single sponsor that's helped made it all the work possible. More importantly, thank you to all the families who trusted us with the safety of their kids. Thank you to all that followed along on our adventures. Your likes and your comments and shares, they're the fuels to keep our message moving forward. See you in 24. It's going to be our biggest year. We love safety, and it shows. It's a really good post. So I think it's great for people to take a minute to take a look at how they did. Oh, and then he posted a link. He linked to all the different sponsors. That's great. So, Derek's making it happen. He's got funding so that he can grow, and he's got a goal, and he's working towards it. And like I say, it's great to do an end of the year. There's nothing wrong with at the beginning of the year setting some goals and letting people know what they are. Letting them out there for especially the people that are subscribing or supporting what you're doing. But cool post. Then we go to the Bannerman Castle. It says 25 years ago this month, the Bannerman Castle Trust announced it had installed a video surveillance system on Bannerman Island to deter vandals and artifact hunters. Although officials said the castle had already been picked clean, at the same time, volunteers completed restoring the island's paths, allowing garden planners to map formally and for more timely local history. In the link in our bios, look for Back in Beacon. So anyway, that's Bannerman Castle. It's awesome. It's in New York. Let's see. So this Rebecca Schmoy posted, how are you increasing your advocacy in 2024? There's Gizzard out there. Welcome. So how are you updating your commitment to educating and advocating for your rights and liberty this upcoming year? Planning rallies, writing articles, creating social media content, running for office, sitting on the fence is no longer an option. How will you be exercising your rights in order to preserve your rights in 2024? So then we've got some answers to that. More self-defense training, more pews and pews. So more guns and training, I guess. This guy, I don't know what that's supposed to be. Bugs Bunny. That's the 2 answers we got. Volunteerism in action. Volunteerism in action. People have only as much liberty as they have intelligence to want and the courage to take. I don't know who this is, but that was a pretty interesting one. Future Shock by Alan, somebody or other. Says, written in 1970 by futurist Alan, whatever his name is, and spouse, Adelaide, whatever her name is. The best-selling Future Shock boils down to a single premise. The
pace of technological progress leads to feeling of too much change in too short a period of time. As a species, we carry a fear of change. Keep in mind that this was written during the so-called telecommunications period where we transitioned from tubes to circuits, and the pace of technological development we see today is exponentially increased. This guy coined the phrase information overload, and the capacity of data far outpaces our ability to absorb all of it. What this guy did not discuss was that our information systems are just the conduit through which forced social change is being delivered. While change is constant but slow, we see this rapid pace at which radical changes in society are being forced upon us. Read Future Shock to gain a 50-year-old perspective on what was coming in the ensuing decades. I haven't read this. I don't know if anybody has, but I just thought it was interesting. And I think it's bullshit because whenever books were created, I think, and whenever somebody started writing on a wall, that's when our brains would have figured out as a species that there's more to know than we can remember. And that's probably why we started writing stuff down in the first place. So I think that as soon as we knew there was books and we've seen a library, everyone who's seen a library knows there's more data than we can understand, and we can live with that. So knowing that the internet is big is the same as knowing that there's a lot of libraries or a lot of books in a library. So I don't think I agree with this, but if people are scared, that's maybe a reason to be scared, I guess. This one's for Gizzard. Like, Gizzard is out here, so I don't think there's anything to... Oh, it's got the... I can't play that music. I'd like to, but I can't. But essentially, it's a chicken. It'll play again here in a second. I wish there was a way to make this bigger. But it's a chicken, bunch of chickens over on the left. It'll start here in a second. So these chickens are minding their business, and this one chicken's like, fuck it, I'm leaving. I'm going over here. So as soon as that chicken goes over there, this hawk comes down or something, and then this rooster comes over and kicks the shit out of the hawk, and then that chicken runs away. So, there's a rooster kicking the crap out of a hawk while he's trying to eat a chicken. And then, like 5 minutes later, this dude comes out and is like, hey, what's going on with my chickens? Okay, so then Women for Gun Rights. Every piece of legislation action you listed will risk... Okay, so this is the vice president posted a thing that says, I'm in favor of the Second Amendment, and I'm also in favor of an assault weapons ban, universal background checks, and red flag laws, because she's trying to distract from a point that there's 107,000 people overdosed from fentanyl last year, and they haven't done anything about the international border that the precursors and the fentanyl itself is coming across on. And they're not talking about the economy or international policy or anything else, but they're going to act like the guns are a big issue, right? So they're going to say things strategically like, I'm in favor of the Second Amendment and also in favor of assault weapons ban and universal background checks and red flag laws. So Women for Gun Rights replies with, every piece of legislative action you listed will risk the lives of innocent Americans and embolden criminals. You are not in favor of the Second Amendment. You are in favor of chaos that will lead to total government control. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting, and I don't disagree with it. They waited till the end to throw the hook there, but I don't know if that hook is going to be... I don't know. That's interesting. I'd expect that from FPC, but this was an interesting post from Women for Gun Rights. It says, remember the purpose of the Second Amendment. Remember the lives that it has saved. 50,000 to 2 million each year, according to the CDC. Remember the motivation that these politicians have when they encourage restrictions on your rights. I don't like my rights, my property, or self-defense as things to defend on, but I guess it works for people. So then we have, what are your accomplishments from 2023? Another great one from Rebecca Schmoy. And she's got like a slideshow going on. Of course, she ran for office and has achieved that. And she's also wears a couple other hats as far as being in organizations that are fighting for rights and awareness. But no one has commented on it. It's 3 days old. Nobody has commented on it. This is Clover's wife posting about her tea rack. Look at all these teas she's got. Figured I'd post about that. And Unapologetically Armed,
who I don't think is showing up today, posted this collage or something. 2023 was a busy one for sure. Some 2A advocacy high points for me would be having whoever this is there alongside me with testifying on 3 firearms related bills for her first time on what was a long and personally very difficult day for me. She helped me keep it together and did great. That's awesome. Attending my first gun rights policy conference in AmCon. She got to meet the little puppy over here and Mello. Getting to see Congressman Eric whatever's faces in DC and being surprised when he made time for our press conference. Very cool. Hanging out with Dick Heller at the Supreme Court. Right on. It pleases me seeing results from the effort put into building a reputation for being dedicated and persistent in championing women's gun rights in Jefferson City. More 2A legislators know who we are, know we will be there to support, will make the calls and send the emails to help push good legislation forward. As of 2024, the Missouri Ladies of Women for Gun Rights are anxious to support bills to repeal gun-free zones, sponsored by Representatives What's-His-Face and this other guy and some senators. So, yeah, pretty cool. And I guess I was going to say that when she says that it pleases me seeing results from our effort being, or from the effort put into building a reputation for being dedicated and persistent in championing the rights, right? More 2A legislators know who we are, and we will be there to support. We'll make calls and send emails. I think it's implied there, but the idea is that when she's there and there regularly becomes a piece of their environment, their landscape, then they know they can comfortably push these bills. Like they can create these bills and put them out there because they know they'll have support. If they are unaware if there is support or not, why would they have any confidence to post these bills? So the fact that she's out there doing her thing encourages representatives to put things out that she could support. So it's a self-sufficient, whatever that words are. Then we got Alan Anchor posting about some mountains here in Arizona. That's what it looks like kind of where they're at. They live kind of between Tucson and Phoenix a little bit, and the mountains up in Phoenix are bigger than the mountains down here because Phoenix is lower than here, and they have the whatever that's called, the plateau or whatever, where Flagstaff is way up in the air. Flagstaff is way higher than all the rest of us. So Phoenix, between Phoenix and Flagstaff is where that transition happens, where you drive up the plateau, whatever you drive up the whatever that wall is. So this is looking, up at northern Arizona, essentially. Pretty good picture. Then we got one from Battle Comp, and it says, got your tickets for New Year's, staying home, doing nothing, go to bed early. Like Gizzard with his 4.5 hour show. Then we got She Fires, who's out there right now. Welcome. Thanks for jumping in. And her post saying, recent dagger build with something across armory accents parts that perfectly complement most all my recent daggers. Red color is much better in person. More dagger videos on my YouTube channel. All right. It's a gun. It's in horrible caliber, probably, but whatever. But it's Every Second Matters post, so thanks for doing that. Foss also doing an Every Second Matters post. Took me a minute to figure out what he was doing there, but then pretty clever. If you keep your eye on the Every Second Matters card, it's there. It's there. He's talking. He's doing his thing. I guess there's no copyright here.
To try and spark that conversation. Through those conversations, we can hopefully help people understand why their Second Amendment rights are so important. And the more people that value those rights, the more protected they are. Because if there aren't enough people who care about that right, it can disappear in just a moment. Happy Every Second Matters.
So thanks to the people that are keeping the campaign going. Now we got gun policy, making fun of Oscar. Is that Oscar or Cookie Monster? I don't know what this is. Elmo. Bring back one of 2023's most liked memes to 2024. So F is for fuck no, or fuck you no. So there you go. I guess it's funny to be belligerent and snarky and sarcastic. It's not effective, but it's fun. This is pretty awesome. So some guy sitting in his backyard, minding his business. I guess he lighted up some kind of candle. It goes up. That's the best part. And then he hauls ass. So if you wonder if you can haul ass or not, then set yourself up one of these crazy bomb candles. I mean, I knew it was going to catch fire, but I had no idea it was going to be that awesome. I don't know where these come from. I guess if you watch them enough, then they send you more of them. This looks like Europe. This is probably using some kind of a metric candle. This is what happens when you use metric. So you shouldn't use metric. This one is from 2A4CA. Doesn't post very much anymore. So this is a kind of reminder that channel is out there. And some kind of a cheeseburger Kydex thing. I'm pretty sure Gun Snob can make these for you if you need them. Grabby Turtle posting a whole bunch of Wolverines and Every Second Matters and other gun channel stuff. Well, not gun channels, but Daily Gun Show stuff. Pretty decent selection of everything here. Is he missing a few meat? I don't think so. One of these is glowy, one of them's not. Assuming he has one of both. But yeah, thanks for the support. Obviously, he's been buying a bunch of stuff off of the store over the years, so much appreciated. He's got a bunch of one-off stuff. And when they do this, when people post their collections like this, it lets me know. So next time I'm sending them something, I can send them one that they don't have yet, if possible. So thanks there for that. Sin Ladd is our Women for Gun Rights representative here in Arizona. So she posted this little doggy. I figured I'd post the little doggy. A lot of people say I shouldn't post dogs. And we have a poll going right now.
Boom, 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 boom.
Thanks, Tony. So I got a poll going over here. Should we keep the puppy co-host, this little animal right here, that a lot of people, I've been told by super rich people, that I shouldn't have this little puppy around. But according to the polls, we're still at 100% yes, we should keep the puppy co-host. So he may still have his job in 2024. So this one is from Tony copyrighting me, but it's, how can I pause this? Let me figure this out. So this is some guy saying, try that in a small town. I don't know what the hell that means. Probably getting all upset about something. So then Barbara Hoffman goes, I believe there is a correlation between penis size and a man's obsession with semi-automated rifles. And then Teresa says, so sexist to assume the gender of gun owners, especially since women are the fastest growing group of new gun owners. And then Tony follows up with, I think it'll keep going now. Tony follows up with, I believe there's a correlation between willful ignorance and being anti-gun. And that's excellent because, what the hell, obsessing with semi-automated rifles? So either Barbara is a dimwad, like she doesn't even know that words mean something and she uses whatever words feel comfortable for her, or she's intentionally using words to try to attempt to trigger people. So remember that, like people like Barbara out there that use dumbass phrases like semi-automated rifles are either dim bulbs and they can maybe be educated because they're just turned off, they're dumb, and you can make people smart by talking to them, or they're trying to get you. They're setting up a little trap to mess with you, in which case, F her and move on, right? So in both cases, correct her and move on, but don't hang up on it. Everybody here is hanging up on it. I guess it's cool, but anyway, post there. I'm not encouraging it as much as give me a chance to talk about it. But Tony says here, anti-gun advocates will attack anyone but keep violent criminal or politicians stealing their civil right to keep and bear arms. They have no time for logics, facts, or adult responsibility. Facts, women are the fastest growing segments of firearms purchasers. The number of people that defend themselves from violent attacks is anywhere from 40,000 to 2.5 million. America is the only country that counts suicide as a gun violence issue, because taking away 63% of deaths caused by suicide would drop America from the number one country for gun deaths to not being in the top 100. Any anti-gun advocates are using suicide statistics to make a political point, but ignore the problem of suicide. The founding fathers told us not to trust government and ensured one of the checks against an untrustworthy, tyrannical government was the citizens owning weapons of war. Anti-gun advocates willfully ignore American history and every example of government violence carried out against American citizens. They are willing to outsource their safety and security to the same government and force everyone else to do the same. They are proof that ignorance may be bliss, but it is very, very dangerous. Tony's eloquent with that shit. Like, he does a good job of pointing that stuff out. And I don't think I would have even got started on this, but Tony, stops it. He nails it. Very concise. SHOT Show, 20 days away. This one came out 5 hours ago. 20 days away. Happy New Year. There are 20 days remaining till SHOT Show 2024. The official app is now available. Let's see who else saying stuff about it. So Rock Island Armory. Okay. Miltech. Okay. Pew Pew Like a Girl. I don't know who that is. Some girl. Nebraska Jessica. Don't know who that is. Some girl. Thermal Hunters of Texas. Interesting. They probably shoot dogs. If anyone wants to invite us to the show, we'd love to be there. Well, good shooting dogs. Maybe people will take it. Really looking forward to this year's conference. See you in 20 days. 2A photographer. I don't know who that is. Somebody should take pictures of guns. Range Systems. Looking forward to a great show. Wonder if I've seen them before. Sometimes it shows you people who you know. That's why I look down here. But is that all the comments they've gotten? View hidden comments. Really looking forward to it. Seriously, that's the one that you hid. Laser ammo. Looking forward to it. I'm glad they blocked that one because that was so traumatic. Anyhow, next one is from Gun Policy. Let's see. This one's pretty good, I guess. So it's this little weird thing that they use on Reddit, and it says, do you believe you should be able to pick up a gun at Ace Hardware next to the hammers? And then that dude says yes. Which, of course, yes. So this is Alan Franklin. If you're against the ban on ghost guns, you in essence believe there should be no background checks on gun purchases whatsoever. You believe you should be able to pick up a gun at Ace Hardware next to the hammers. It would be nice for Rocky Mountain gun owners to just admit this. And then that's the one when FPC is saying, yeah, of course. So instead of just being spiteful or snarky about it, you could try to explain to them that they're scared over nothing. But I think it's interesting that this is somebody who's getting mad at Rocky Mountain gun owners, and then FPC is picking it up. I don't know if that matters, but there you go. Triggerology out there. Right on. IG hides comments from accounts that are private. Oh, is that what it is? So if the account is not a public one, then it's just not going to show up over here. It's going to show up as one of those privates. I got you. Thanks. I'm actually waiting for Cape Gunworks to start up here, but we're almost at the end. I think I timed this one pretty decent. So Kalashnikon, I just found this one. It's one of the AK shooting events that happens each year. So they posted their schedule. I'll have to put that into the calendar. Craig over in California says U.S. national debt hits record 34 trillion as Congress gears up for a funding fight. That's from the Associated Press. But Craig says 34 trillion. That's a staggering amount our politicians have added to the national debt. When Biden first took office, the projected we wouldn't hit whoever it was projected we wouldn't hit this amount until 2029. Biden and congressional Democrats hit it a full 5 years ahead of schedule. Let me break it down for you. That's $103,000 for every American citizen. Think about that. We're robbing future generations of prosperity, all for short-term political gain. Shame on them. Yeah, it's frustrating. That's one of those things that I think we should keep in our arsenal instead of getting all offended about our rights and our property. There's lots of things that they're using the gun debate to distract from. You don't need to, you can be a one-trick pony, the way I say it, like a one-issue voter. At least I believe so. But,
in California makes its way to
so Toby is live over here.
Explain to us what's going on in the Golden State.
Yeah, thank you, Grace. It's great. Happy New Year. Great talking to you today. And so there was a bill that passed Gavin Newsom gleefully signed into existence, banning the carrying of firearms in just about a lot of different public places, including like playgrounds.
All right, so we'll end this so that we can go watch Toby. I wonder if that's recorded or if that's, I think it's live. So Craig makes a great thing though, talking about how it's, it's really not just, it's something that we're passing along, and it's bullshit. And we should be passing along better, not discouraging shit. So, being aware of this is super critical. So thanks to Craig for posting that. Guns for Everyone is in Colorado Springs. And it says, busy morning politicking, title board hearing for our initiative to allow marijuana users to obtain a concealed carry handgun permit in Colorado. Colorado, wasn't there the first one in the recent past to start doing the medical? I don't know if they did medical, but recreational marijuana. So cool to see that we could potentially see Colorado lead the way for challenging those bullshit restrictions. Like if potheads are running around with guns, it just doesn't make sense. Then we've got, this is pretty good. There's every once in a while cats are cool. And here's a place, probably Tokyo, or I don't know, Europe, probably not here. But these cats are just hanging out, and they must just live here because everybody's cool with them. And they get their butt scratched by sitting on the thing, and then this old guy scratches them. And then every once in a while, when they don't like somebody, they'll wail on them. It's pretty good. Like, she's going to get wailed on right here. That cat didn't like the look of her. And then this one gets another card up its butt. And now you can go in. Anyway, that'd be pretty good. I don't work on, or I wouldn't want to take a subway, but if I was taking a subway, I'd want there to be some kind of cats to hang out with on the way into the subway. Show the people the video I posted about SB2 on Instagram. Did I have any of yours up here right now? Let me go find yours. This one?
All right, y'all, I'm out here shopping, running some errands real quick before returning to the house. And I must share with y'all that I'm super disappointed. I came out here, y'all know SB2 is in full effect here in California, so people cannot legally, lawfully carry firearms according to state law for self-defense here in California. But I was fully expecting to see either Rob Bonta, the AG, or Gavin Newsom, the governor, or even Senator Portantino, who's the one that authored SB2. I was expecting to see at least one of them out here to provide personal security to the people in case things pop up. But nope, none of them are here. Nowhere to be found. Disappointing. All right, y'all, I'm out here shopping, running some errands real quick before returning to the house.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be sooner than later that it gets challenged, but obviously there's the cat and mouse game or the whack-a-mole game that they're playing with everyone in California's rights, really. All right, so with that, we'll end this one and get people over to Cape Gunworks. Check it out. They're going to have a double hitter, the 2A Tuesday show first, and then they'll be doing the regular show after that one. So if you got time to do it, check it out. Yeah, no problem, dude. Thanks for posting. Thanks for jumping in. It sucks that you got to deal with that. You don't need to hear that, but there are people out here that are advocating for the rest of the country to give a shit about the 5 states that are getting clobbered on right now. So we have a lot more power than we're utilizing. We'll figure it out though. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining us on a Wednesday. Tomorrow we do something every once in a while on Thursdays, but we'll be back Friday to talk about essentially the same show, except we look at YouTube for the week. And then on Saturdays we get together and answer gun questions. So check us out for those. Cape Gunworks is up next. I think Chris from 740 has a show this evening as well. And we'll be back to pick you up later.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing.
Captain, a vessel approaching.
On screen.
We're being hailed.
Every weekend over at GearWebsites.com, our online store, we have free Patch Friday. And that means that every order placed on our store on Fridays is going to include at least one free patch. So that's every order with no coupons, no minimum order, no codes needed. You place the order on Friday, and when it arrives to you, it's going to have at least one free patch. Your support means a lot to us, and financial support is critical. So thanks again to the people who keep us online through purchases at GearWebsites.com.